Every year, millions of people make New Year's resolutions. They start off strong, determined to change their lives. But there is a catch. Research shows that 80% of these resolutions are abandoned by February. Sound familiar? If you're watching this later in the year of 2025 or any other year, chances are many people have already given up, including you. But why does this happen? And more importantly, how can we approach this differently? Today, I want to share with you something that's not just another quick fix or hack. I want to give you a principle, one that I also follow, and that's something meaningful to me and lasting that can truly change the way I and you grow and achieve our goals. We will also discuss what it means in detail and how it affects life, but first let's talk about the difference. A resolution is typically a goal, something you decide to do, like I'll go to the gym or I'll eat healthier. Generally, you don't define yourself by that goal. It is not important to who you are, but a principle is a lot deeper. It's about who you are or who you want to become. Here's the game changer. When you base your actions on a principle, it's not about constantly forcing yourself to remember these resolutions. Instead, you naturally live them out because of that principle, because it's part of your identity. For example, if the principle is, I am a healthy person, then you'll work out. Not because you have to, but because that's what the principle dictates. It's being healthy. It's part of who you are. Principles shape you and your identity shapes then your actions. So, my principle, I promised I would share it with you. It is, you do what you do because you are who you are. It sounds straightforward and very simple, but it's a lot harder than it appears to be. Let me break it down. In a nutshell, it means being loyal to the person you want to be. If you envision yourself as a calm, disciplined, or compassionate person, your actions today should reflect that future version of yourself. This principle resonates deeply with me, and I connect it to my faith. Two Bible verses stand out. First one describes God in 2 Timothy chapter 2 verse 13. If we are faithless, he remains faithful, for he cannot disown himself. And the second one is more about what you do. It's James chapter 2 verse 26. Faith without works is dead. For me, these verses remind me to stay loyal to the person I want to become, but also that these actions are also part of that. And even then, when it's challenging. But if faith is not for you, it's not your thing, then I have a book recommendation. Take Ben Horowitz's book, What You Do Is Who You Are. But now, let's dig a bit deeper in this principle, because it's simple yet quite demanding. First, it's about responsibility. The person you are today is a result of past decisions. You can't change that right now, but the future is still in your hands. Who you want to become tomorrow depends entirely on your actions that you take today. This means no excuses. Yes, your environment and upbringing or circumstances might have influenced you now, but they don't define you forever. Your future self is your responsibility. It's in your hands. Ask yourself, what would the future me, the one I want to be, do right now? And then act accordingly. Second point, it's about consistency, not perfection. You don't have to be perfect to live by a principle. You're a human and make mistakes. The key is to aim for consistency. Every time you act in alignment with your principle, you're reinforcing it. Imagine a scale. The more you do things that match your principle, the more the scale tips towards becoming the person that you want to become. One bad day won't ruin everything, but staying off track for too long, now that will kill all your progress. And this progress isn't linear, but every small win matters. Keep going, even when it's tough. Third, your actions create a ripple effect, and so does your principle. Principles go beyond just one area of your life. Unlike resolutions, which might focus on one goal, like fitness or productivity, a principle affects everything. For example, if your principle is or dictates that you are principled, it won't just help you wake up early. It will influence how you work, how you handle stress, and even how you interact with others. It's like planting a seed. The principle you live by grows roots into every part of your life, creating positive change everywhere. In my case, my principle asks of me to have good quality work, to treat the people around me better, and to generally do things that make me the person I want to be. Fourth, actions shape identity, and vice versa. Think of your identity as a loop. Who you believe you are influences what you do, and what you do reinforces who you believe you are. If you see yourself as someone who procrastinates, you'll likely procrastinate more. But if you start taking small actions, like finishing one task at a time, you'll begin to see yourself as someone who's productive. It's just common nature. Every action, no matter how small, either strengthens or weakens your principle. That's why even tiny, consistent steps matter. Next, fifth point. Quality matters as much as quantity, at least as much as quantity. It's not just about doing something, it's about how you do it. Especially for the principle my principle that I'm presenting. If your principle is you do what you do defines who you are, then I would try to give it my best effort. I won't rush through a task, it just isn't enough. I will take the time to do things well because each action reflects or reinforces who I will become. Even when no one is watching, my effort for me counts because that is the way I want to approach my work, my relationships, or my challenges. It will define the person who I'm becoming, and I will keep this in mind. Maybe my principle that I'm presenting to you means something else to you, but to me it means exactly that. Sixth point, which goes into the second Bible verse that I mentioned. Non-action matters too. As faith is dead without works, so is my future character with non-action. This is a big one, because not acting is actually an action. Because anytime we take a ton of micro decisions, not helping one is also a decision. And it shapes my identity just as much as stepping in would. It's easy to ignore this, but every time you choose to avoid something or stay silent, you're still making a choice, and it's affecting your future self. Ask yourself, what do my actions and inactions say about me? If they don't align with the person I or you want to become, it's time to adjust. And last but not least, the seventh point. A principle will create resilience in your life because it will give you a deeper why. It keeps you grounded when life gets hard. And when challenges come up, you don't quit because your actions aren't tied to a temporary goal. They're tied to your identity. For example, if the principle dictates that I'm patient, then even in stressful moments, you will try to stay calm because it's who you are. You will do it because you want to become better. And it's not just something you're forcing yourself to do. It will come from itself. When you live by a principle, it's like having a compass that guides you for every decision. It's no longer just about willpower or short-term motivation. It's about knowing who you are and making choices that align with that identity. It's running for a long goal. Take a moment to reflect. What principle do you want to live by? Write it down, say it out loud. Let it shape not just what you do, but who you are becoming. Now, I just want to remind you something. No one can hold you responsible for who you are today, but everyone, including yourself, can hold you responsible for who you are tomorrow. Thank you so much for listening. If you found this helpful, please like, subscribe, or leave a comment. I'd love to hear and read your thoughts, and I respond to every single message. See you next time.